Today we are going to learn how to establish a new database connection and how to interactively explore the contents of the database. Let's click on the Connect to Data icon, which opens our Database Explorer. Initially, it lists all connections that exist in the system that are visible to the current user. We'll get to the point of credentials later. So we have a Campbell database, which is a Postgres database installed on a server. Let's try to connect to it. We would right-click on the Postgres and select Add Connection. Now we need to enter the credentials for the database, starting with the name, server. It's important to understand that the server location is relative to the server where the web server is installed and not to the browser. Database name and the login credentials. Password. Use the test icon, test button to test the connection. So it looks like we've entered everything correctly. We would click OK and the connection appears. By default, it is visible to only myself. If I want to make it available to other people or groups, I will have to share it. But we will not be doing that today. So let's see what we can do with this connection. When we click on the table, it expands all the tables available in that database, and we can drill down to columns as well. So our platform can retrieve schemas for all popular database providers. By simply clicking on the table, its information appears in the right side. So we clicked on the binding sites table, and we have some additional information about the table, including connection name, number of rows. We can also expand and see each of the columns. And which is also convenient, we have a preview of the data. As usually, we can expand the action items to see all the commands applicable to that table, or alternatively, we can click on that small triangle and get the same number, same actions. So for instance, if we want to get all values, we would click on get all, and a few seconds later, we got all 10,000 rows in the workspace. It is also easy to get summary information for a column. So for instance, we can click on a column and we see a quick summary. In this case, it lists the most frequently used values, since it's a string column. At any time, as usually, you can navigate backwards or forward in the property panel. So if you accidentally click on anything, don't be afraid, just go back. As usually, you can always clone and detach the panel, and in which case it's not synchronized with the current object anymore. So if you want it to be permanently sticked, use the clone and detach icon. Another convenient way to explore the database is visual exploration of its schema. So we would right-click on the connection and select Browse Schema. And it shows all the tables and columns at once. It looks like this particular database does not have foreign keys defined, because the relations should also be shown. In the schema view, we can click either on the table or on a column to get the corresponding summary. Another way to explore the content of the table is to use database interactive aggregation. So click on a table, choose visual query, and an interface which is very similar to the aggregation user interface in the table view appears. It lets us aggregate stuff on the fly. So for instance, for the what's the name for the drag mechanism table, I might want to group something by action type and then follow it by say mechanism of action, and then for instance I want to retrieve all the numbers of these combinations, so I would choose count as an aggregation and add any column, and we got the result already. So if you want to see most frequent combinations, we would simply sort by it, and clearly we see the most popular action types and mechanisms of action. This aggregation with the parameters can be saved as a query for later reuse, but we will explain that in a lot more details in the following video. We will also touch concepts such as query transformation and creating parameterized queries and executing queries from different contexts such as console and JavaScript. This is it for now. Thank you for watching.